All right, man, peace. So, superstar heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder is going to engage in another defense of his heavyweight title against the man who he won the heavyweight title from, that being Bermaine Stiverne. They're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
Welcome back to DMZ Sports. One of the biggest heavyweight fights of the decade is going down real soon at the Barclays Center. Actually, this Saturday on Showtime, Deontay Wilder versus Bermaine Stiverne 2. It's happening on Showtime. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, Deontay Wilder, 38-0, 37 knockouts. This guy knocks out everybody. He dethroned Stiverne back in January 2015.
You know, certain guys are just born with that hot blood. Deontay Wilder is one of those guys who's just born hot-blooded. He was just born to fight, and thank goodness he found boxing. You know, it's a great thing when hot-blooded dudes are able to find a way to express that temperament that they have, because he is a warrior. There's no doubt about that.
And now they are fighting again. It's going to be awesome.
Wilder became the first American heavyweight champ in nearly a decade. He's defended his title 5 times since then. But now Stiverne, who's knocked out every single other opponent he's faced,
except
these
Deontay.
guys are fighting again. We want to get a breakdown on this fight. Who's going to win? How are they going to win? When are they going to win? So we brought in, of course, our guy, our friend, Master P, who knows as much about the boxing game as anybody else. P, tell us what you think about this fight, man. Who do you think has the upper hand here?
Let me say this about Master P. He's a phenomenal businessman, and he has a ruling class mentality. He did a video in which he stated that he wanted Colin Kaepernick to come play in his football league because he feels like the NFL should have competition. Now, look, we all know that Colin Kaepernick is not going to go play football for Master P. Let's be for real. A football league that's just been designed by Master P, or that has been created by Master P, obviously is not going to be anywhere near as professional as the NFL. But at least his mindset is in, I'm not going to ask them, I'm going to create my own. And that's really where the so-called black man's mind needs to be. Now, in regards to Bermaine Stiverne and Deontay Wilder, I expect it to be a very competitive fight. Bermaine Stiverne is looking for revenge. He's shown in the previous fight that he was able to take Wilder's punches. Wilder is a phenomenally hard puncher, but if I do remember correctly, he had a hand issue in the last fight, so we'll see what happens in this one.
Well, Deontay Wilder he's a beast.
Yeah.
And when you get in the ring with a guy like that, you have to be ready. He's a man of God. He's about his kids. I mean, I haven't seen a person that ready and prepared in boxing in a long time. I think this guy has all the tools to win and to be the champ. It's gonna be hard to beat him. I mean, he got Al Heyman behind him, and it's like, you know.
Al Heyman, economic genius, the money man behind Floyd Mayweather. All right. Once again, brothers, we have to learn this money system to the best of our ability before this kingdom falls. All right. Learn the money system and stop trying to ask the so-called white man for validity and for attention. That's the sign of having a slave mentality and, quite honestly, thinking like a bitch or like a little hoe. A hoe always has to go to her pimp for attention and for credibility and validity.
You know,
shout out to the Watsons too, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like this guy really, he's paused. He has it together. And I said, this is going to be a great fight Saturday. But I'm looking at Deontay bringing it back to Alabama.
Back to Alabama, yeah. Who will lose to LSU on Saturday. But here's the situation.
Yeah.
The last time they fought, it was a fight that was a little bit more tactical than people thought. It went to the cards, unanimous decision win for Deontay Wilder.
Only guy Deontay has it knocked out.
Yeah, but once again, if I remember correctly, he had a hand issue in that fight. I could be wrong, but Deontay has had hand issues recently for many of his fights. The thing with Stiverne is that Stiverne is not in good condition. As you can see, he's fat. He really needs to work on his head movement. Deontay is coming in at like 6'7". Bermaine is like 6 feet, 6'1". He needs to move his head a lot. He needs to get into a crouch. As you can see by the highlights, he was just coming up to Deontay, in a straight line with his hands in front of his face. You're not going to beat him like that. Boxing is an art. It is a martial art. And, guys have to work on their craft, and they have to know how to adjust to different styles and to opponents that have different dimensions. You can't just come at Deontay Wilder like how you would anybody else. Now, Deontay has shown that he's a little bit crude as well. His jab is just decent. He really just looks for a way to throw those overhand rights and lefts. He's a guy who's always looking for the knockout. If you could set him up to throw a big shot, you can get underneath it, maybe hit him with a left hook. Who knows? Bermaine also has great power.
The only guy Deontay hasn't knocked out. P, do you see it going back to the cards this time?
No, I don't.
Or are you looking for him to stop the fight?
I don't see it going all the way this time. I see Deontay taking this in like the 8 or 9.
8 or 9.
8 or 9.
It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me, particularly if Deontay's healthy. Deontay is very frustrated because many of the fights that he's tried to make recently have been canceled due to his opponent or his opponents, plural, testing positive for the usage of performance-enhancing drugs, which once again shows you why Floyd Mayweather is the genius that he is.
Knockout.
So a mid to late round stoppage.
And I'm telling you, I really like him. I think that he's one of the best fighters in the world after Deontay. This is going to be a great
That's why
fight.
it's such a dope.
Well, Bermaine is a world-class fighter.
Such a dope fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real war in the ring. And those guys would not go out to eat after this fight. I'm just telling
They seriously dislike each other. There's borderline hatred.
You won't see these guys eating after this fight. I can promise you that.
Everything going down this Saturday on Showtime. Wilder versus Stiverne 2. We had Anthony Joshua fought last Saturday. More heavyweight action this Saturday. This division is back. You do not want to miss it.
And that is proof that when they said for years that the heavyweight division was dead, what were they really saying? They were saying that without the black man in the heavyweight division, it's not really relevant. All right? They speak in code, and they always speak in code about you, so-called black man, letting you know that you are the most valuable jewel in their jewelry box. Okay? When they said for years, for over a decade, that the heavyweight division was dead because there was no quote-unquote great American heavyweight, what were they talking about? They were talking about the so-called black man. Notice they didn't say that there's no great African heavyweight. They said there was no great American heavyweight. So what do they know about your history, so-called black man? What do they know about you that you might not know about yourself? As I've stated already, the so-called black man here in the Americas comes from 3 main lineages. That being the Aboriginal blacks who are already here, the blacks of Europe, who were sent here after they fell from power in Europe in the 1600s and 1700s, and also the blacks who came here from the west coast of Africa. Okay? But the whole slavery narrative is something that is highly, highly overblown to instill a slave mentality into the mind of the so-called black man, and also to instill a ruling class mentality into the mindset of the progeny of the Caucasians who, for well over 1,000 years, were nothing but serfs and servants in Europe. But, just getting back to the video, we need to see a Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua fight, mega fight next year. So hopefully Deontay can put this man away tonight. All right, so now let's see what Deontay has to say in regards to his promise for what is going to occur in this fight tonight.
TMZ Sports 7 here with Van and Michael J. Babcock. One of the most, you just growled, you growled.
Right.
One of the most, yesterday you gave me out, so it's a step up. Look, one of the most famous heavyweight boxers on the planet just threatened to murder his opponent. But not like, oh, I'm going to kill you. It was like, I'm going to end your life, I'm going to stop your heart from beating. And that person is Bomb Squad, Deontay Wilder.
And look, when Deontay makes those type of threats, I believe he's serious, man. He said that numerous times. And this is what I was referring to when I talked about the warrior spirit. Some of these cats, they really believe that they want to kill somebody in the ring. All right, it's not so much that they legitimately want to; it's that they believe they want to, until it happens. And there's a long list of great fighters that have killed men in the ring. Sugar Ray Robinson killed a man in the ring. Many others. So it does happen. When they asked Ray Robinson in the Inquisition about the man that he killed, I believe the man's name was Jimmy Doyle. One of you brothers can correct me on that, but I believe he killed him in 1946. He actually had a dream about killing the man before he did. He dreamed about it the night before, and he went to a priest, and he said that he did not want to fight Jimmy Doyle because he dreamed that he would kill him with a left hook. The priest told him, no, it was just a dream, Ray. Get in the ring. Ray got in the ring, Jimmy Doyle pressed him, and Ray hit him with a perfect left hook while he was coming in. The man collapsed, went into a coma, and died. And by most accounts, Ray Robinson was never the same after that fight. So Deontay should be very careful in regards to the energy that he puts out there because, he just may kill somebody. He has the power and the skill set to do it. And if he does do it, he may be haunted for the rest of his life. Mike Tyson used to also make those type of assertions that he wants to kill somebody in the ring. Right? Remember, he said, if he's not dead, it doesn't count. If I don't kill him, it doesn't count.
He's one of the most frightening guys out there.
He is one of the only American heavyweight champions we've had in recent memory. Yeah. The dude absolutely destroys people in the ring.
Yeah, he is fighting Bermaine Stiverne this weekend at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Yeah, it is a rematch.
The only guy that Deontay Wilder is not knocked out.
Yeah, so Deontay was asked about this fight and what he plans to do to his opponent, and that's when he got a little homicidal. Take a look.
This right here just turned up into a whole nother level. Somebody will die in that ring come November 4th. I promise. The ambulance better be ready. The medical better be ready. The referee better be ready. They better have that towel to be able to throw it in because every blow gonna mean something. This is death. I want a body on my record anyway. I want to put a body there. So this just got even more personal. I beat her to an inch of life the first time. This time I'm gonna end his life.
You know what this sounds like to me?
It sounds like he's trying to publicize the fight by saying something morbid. Look, I'm not going to tell the brother that he shouldn't say that. It is a blood sport. The terms like kill or be killed are used, but he should be careful the type of energy that he's putting out there. Okay? Be careful, because you may be haunted by something for the remainder of your life. Because when you put that energy out there and you claim that you want to do something like that, when put in the position to do it, you will do it, and then you'll have to live with it for the rest of your life. But I mean, it is what it is. Boxing is a kill or be killed sport, and it is not the job of the fighter to stop beating down his opponent. It is the job of the referee to stop the fight. Right? There are many fights where Muhammad Ali could have killed somebody in the ring, especially in the early 70s. When he came back from his exile, he still had a lot of the speed that he had before the exile, and then he had that grown man strength in the early 70s. And a lot of the guys that he fought, he was putting in the hospital. He fought a rematch with Jerry Quarry in Las Vegas in 1972, where he actually had to wave the referee in to come stop the fight because he felt like he was about to kill Jerry Quarry.
This sounds like the plot line for the Mortal Kombat video game.
What are you talking about?
The Mortal Kombat video game was a whole thing where it was a tournament to the death with the best fighters in the world,
Right.
and they were all playing for Shang Tsung, who was the ultimate keeper of the souls, and they had to get through Goro. But the point of it was a tournament to the death.
Yeah, everybody died, and then if you won, you were like fighting for your realm or something like that. It was weird.
You know, it was a tournament to the death, though. So, like, Raiden was the lightning god. He was fighting Sub-Zero and Scorpion and all. They had to fight to the death. That's right.
Now here's the deal. You probably shouldn't say this if you're Deontay Wilder, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
There are a lot of boxers out there who actually have killed guys in the ring, and if you talk to those guys, they'll tell you that it haunts them forever.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Like I said, look up the story of Ray Robinson and Jimmy Doyle.
Sergey Kovalev killed someone in the ring.
I don't think Kovalev's haunted. I believe he's a sadistic. I believe he liked killing that guy.
Haunts them forever. I know he was just probably trying to hype the fight up, or maybe not.
No, I believe him.
Max Baer killed some guy in the ring like 100 years ago, and his family members said that haunted him until he died. He was very shaken up about it. But Deontay Wilder doesn't seem to care.
No, I think he actually wants to kill this guy. He doesn't care.
I want to go back to talking about Mortal Kombat for a second.
Sure, let's do it.
Of all the Mortal Kombat video games, who had the best finishing move?
Look, I definitely believe Deontay Wilder when he says what he says. I believe that he believes it. But if it happens, he's going to have to live with it. So, be very, very careful unless he's trying to take on that Ivan Drago mentality.
Anyway, please don't kill anybody, Deontay.
Yeah, just win the fight.
Leave it to the video game.
Somebody will die in that ring.
But anyway, that's the prediction on Deontay Wilder. I believe that Deontay will probably stop Bermaine Stiverne around rounds 9 and 10, but we'll see what happens. I want him to do so that we can set up that Anthony Joshua super fight sometime in 2018. But anyway, brothers, peace.